screaming everybody gets to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. He's coming up right in front of me. Come on, come on, come on.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs to the line. It's Kurt Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland is Garland leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done as the Mexico.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with the always amazing Outcast Racing League. As each and every one of these drivers is going to get ready to try to put themselves into victory lane here in the AG Designs 250. As a huge shout out there to AG's Designs coming on board, being our sponsor here this evening. As Kurt sponsor with the share on the stream, Black Phoenix, my boy Black Phoenix coming in, showing the love. How are you, mister? How are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day coming in, dropping that thumbs up over there on the broadcast on Facebook as we get ready to set them loose. We get ready to go to battle. Each and every one of these drivers ready to duke it out here for what is going to be a fun night of racing action here from California, baby. We're in Cali now as it is the AG Designs 250 and it is Auto Club Speedway for what is going to be a 125 lap dash here this evening. These guys are going to be duking it up. They're going to be dicing it up 3-4 wide at times out there on the racetrack. Everyone will be trying to find their own lane, their own groove, and hope that they can navigate their way into victory lane. Is each and every one of these drivers going to get ready to be set loose? It is Chris Muse who starts in the pole position. So Muse out in front has the pole position here. We'll have to wait for that car to get in there, but we do see, I want to make sure I get this right. It's Aaron Barnickel in that number 66 ride will start in position number 2. So Aaron Barnickel will start there in second. Billy Jordan will start in position number 3 to his outside in the Outcast Racing League Quantum Motorsports ride. It is the 77 of Casey Gross. Starting in position number 5 in the 15 ride, that is Cameron Combs. To his outside in the 19 ride, it is that beautiful Schenko Custom Designs Williamsburg Contracting number 19 ride of Dom Salvo. Starting in position number 7 in the 76, it is the body armor ride of Caleb McKinney. To his outside in that beautiful Must Love Poodles number 48, it's Grant Humphrey. So Grant will start there in 8th. Starting back in the 9th position, the Poor Boy Motorsports Outcast Racing League in number 12. It's Josh Bromfield starting there in 9th. To his outside in the Land in CNSB, the 02 ride, it is Chad Lancaster who will round out our top 10. Starting in position number 11 is the 31 of Adolfo Castillo. To his outside will be the 3 ride of Al Reed. Reed in the Freedom car. We absolutely love that, brother. The absolute amazing Freedom car here this evening, and we love the Charlie Kirk paint schemes by all these amazing drivers here tonight. Rest in peace, Charlie. God bless his friends, family, children, his wife, his everybody in the U.S. and everyone around the world, man, as we are Charlie Kirk, as we do see the number 9, the 89 ride, yes, the 89 ride, the Dark Horse Machine, the Sunkursk Machine, that is Donald Brahmy, I do believe it's Brame in that beautiful number 89 ride. Devin Black there, last week's winner, will start to his outside in the beautiful number 7 machine that we see. John Dutel, Wayne Garland, James Garland, Johnny Thunders, Chris Wolford, Brandon Puffenbarger. We do see Gary Wright back there, Edward Belair, Mike Killingbeck, Kurt Sponsler bringing up the rear of the field as Corey Crowell, unfortunately down pit side. He will have to start from pit road here in that number 2 ride. Finally gets released from the pit stall. He's going to have to creep down pit road and hope that he can catch a quick caution flag and get himself back into the action, or at least have to forfeit potentially a little bit of stage points here today. As out in front, it is Chris Muse who sees that green flag fly and down the back straightaway. He will lead us back down and into corner number 3 is the Auto Zone 66 right there in tow, looking for a big run here on the back straightaway and into corner number 3. As you see these drivers start to spread out, everyone's kind of running different lanes, different areas out there on the racetrack, trying to figure out where their car works best, where their car and their momentum can be best served. And right now, for the first lap, the Monster Energy Ford of Mr. Chris Muse will lead lap number 1. Aaron Barnickel back there in position number 2. Is Barnickel looking to try to hopefully jump up and make that pass on Chris Muse. He's been working to his back bumper here and obviously has a pretty fast hot rod here tonight himself. Dom Salvo already up a few spots here from where he started, and for the 19 ride, rolling there in position number 3. He may not be done yet either. He wants to get this Williamsburg ride up to the front of the field as Casey Gross right there in 4th. Cameron Combs back in 5th. Caleb McKinney rolls in position number 6 here on the racetrack. Billy Jordan, he's unfortunately fallen back here about 4 positions as Billy now sits in 7th here. Unfortunately, falling a couple spots early in this race. We'll have to wait and see if he can try to, regain some momentum here, maybe try to find some extra speed and maybe drive his way back up there. Did look like potentially getting into the outside fence. See a little bit of damage there on that right front. And unfortunately for the 14 ride, that's maybe where he lost quite a bit of that momentum and fell backwards here early on this evening as Adolfo Castillo, Al Reed trying to navigate their way up towards the front of the field here as the Freedom Ride rolls there in position number 10 on the racetrack, trying to drive his way up towards the front of the pack. Let's see if we can get another look here at this race car. Legends never die. The Charlie Kirk Memorial machine out there on the Speedway. We love that Al has this on his machine and that he's riding with Charlie on him. Everyone's riding with Charlie here this evening and for eternity as Al having him on his car. We did see a Charlie Kirk Memoriam car go to victory lane last night. Maybe we see a Charlie Kirk Memoriam car go to victory lane again here this afternoon as maybe Al Reed's got a little something up his sleeve. Definitely driving with a purpose out there on the racetrack as of right now, having him on board with him and maybe taking some lessons that he's learned from Mr. Kirk and trying to put himself up here into victory lane. So in front, it is this number 99 ride of Chris Muse. Muse still out in front, holding on to the top spot, but we do see Aaron Barnickel now kind of under fire here. We did see Dom Salvo slide back into position number 4. Casey Gross was able to get around him, and now Casey working on that number 66 ride, hoping that he can try to move around him, maybe jump up and steal position number 2 away from that 66 ride, and that's exactly what he will do. As down the front straightaway, back down across the line, lap number 5 will be led again from that number 99 ride of Chris Muse. So Muse just out in front, having himself a great time, but we do see the caution flag fly. So early caution flag here this evening on lap number 5. We'll take a look back and see what happened. Looked like some issues here for Chad Lancaster. There it is. The NSB, the Land and Sea NSB machine, unfortunately turned around sideways there on the racetrack. That will bring the caution flag out. Let's take a look back and see what happens. Unfortunately here for Lancaster, he had already kind of fallen back a little bit. We do see Kurt Sponsor right there with him, and this tight racing, I'm not sure here if the 0-2 kind of comes down the track or if the 49 comes up. Nonetheless, there is contact between the two of them. Let's take a look and see kind of how this gets played out. So the 0-2, you take a look kind of at the almost the line right there. You do see the 49 kind of come up a little bit right there. 0-2 gets very tight to that outside fence, and that's where he starts to come back down the racetrack. And unfortunately, as he comes back down, trying to avoid running into that outside fence, just kind of runs down and across the nose of that 49 right of Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler, unfortunately, not enough time to get out to the binders, gets a piece of him, and turns that Quantum Motorsport 0-2 machine the wrong direction. So caution flag will be displayed, and that means we'll get an opportunity to see if any drivers maybe want to gamble here. Do they come down pit road this early, whether or not it's for fuel? I don't think anyone's going to take tires this soon, but fuel could definitely be a big question mark for a lot of these guys wanting to maybe just get that extra edge, that extra advantage on where they need to be or what they want to do to try and put themselves into a better position out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see if there's any takers. If anyone elects to come down pit road, if anyone elects to try to make this move, and it looks like early on, we're going to have a lot of takers, even just 5 laps of green flag racing into this race. And we get a lot of drivers heading down pit road here. So that's going to definitely make things very interesting. We do see Donald Bram. He's going to stay out. So Donald will leapfrog and gain all that track position. And for the 89 ride, he will now be out in front. He will be the race leader when we go back to green flag racing, unless he decides during the next lap around here under yellow to head down pit road to try and, get some fuel into this car. Maybe just wanted to lead a lap there for a couple moments. We'll have to wait and see if that's the game plan here for Donald. But nonetheless, we do see Chris Muse, Aaron Barnickel, Caleb McKinney, Billy Jordan, Cameron Combs, Josh Bromfield. It did look like a slower pit stop there for Casey Gross. Let's see if we can play this back and see what the difference maker was here for Casey, and I think that's it right there. So if we watch this 77 ride head down into his pit stall, he's going to slide too far through right there. Too far forward, has to back it up. And unfortunately, still not lined up nicely, kind of having to rock the car here a little bit to get the crew to go to service, and finally he's able to get them to put some fuel into that ride, but unfortunately that did cost him about 7 spots on the racetrack. Unfortunately goes from second all the way back to 9th position here. Actually he lost about 6 because the 89 ride obviously did not come down pit road, but still that simple mistake, that simple couple seconds right there of not making it into your pit stall correctly, that can hurt you dearly and put you deeper into the field. So that's a tough break right there for him, as we will see Donald Bram out in front. Bram has a race lead. He gets ready to set these drivers loose. Excuse me, there is the Dark Horse Racing Sunkursk number 89 ride out in front. Looking beautiful, man. I love the orange and the yellow flames on that thing. Looking fresh and looking very, very nice out there on the speedway. And he's looking to hopefully get that hot rod, out in front. Lead some laps, having that clean air on the nose of this car, maybe finding an extra gear. Now the big question mark will be on whether or not, fuel mileage may become a pretty big factor here in this race for a lot of these drivers. A lot of them probably, thinking ahead of the game here, trying to make sure that they're making the right calls, making sure that they get an opportunity under yellow to put gas into their rides, that it may help them out in the future, whether or not it's for later in the game having a quicker pit stop by having more fuel into the car, or potentially just trying to maybe just make sure that it's always got as much fuel in it. You come down pit road here, making a green flag pit stop, you might not lose a lap. It may get very close to losing a lap, and minimal caution flags here potentially on the evening could definitely make things that much more interesting. If there's multiple drivers 1 lap down and you're not in that lucky dog position, you may never get that spot back. You may never be able to get back on the lead lap to drive yourself back forward and through the field. Is out in front, Donald Bram gonna see that green flag fly is down through the Geico restart zone. Here we go, back to battle here at Auto Club Speedway, as Donald Bram gets that green flag quickly on the left pedal here. The 99 ride will lead us nice and easy down into corner number 1, and he's hoping that he can keep all these guys back at bay. But here comes the 76, Caleb McKinney, making some big moves here on the restart. McKinney racing that body armor ride now to the point, so he's able to not only pass Chris Muse, but also the 89 ride and put himself out in front. Muse looking to hopefully quickly get around Donald here and hope to try to go to work and try to reconsume this race lead, but look out for the 99, slides right there. Oh baby, that was very close to being a big caution flag. Let's play this back. We saw this car virtually sideways on the racetrack. Has the 15 of Cameron Combs all over his back bumper here, and I think right there just gets loose, slides up. Man, that is a hell of a save right there from Chris Muse. That could have been a whole lot worse in a quick hurry here for this car, man. This thing is absolutely sideways. You can see him already a little bit sideways right there, but look at this save. There it goes. Finally, then it snap hooks. He's able to correct it, able to save it, and man, I don't know how he did not wreck half the field right there, or at least put himself up into the fence or completely go around, man. What a save for Chris Muse. Unfortunately, fortunately, the good news is not too much damage or anything else on that race car. Bad news is he is now sitting back in the 23rd position. So goes from battling for second place to all of a sudden just trying to keep himself inside the top 25 here on the racetrack, and not there at the back of the pack, as Caleb McKinney will hold on to the race lead for Donald. Great choice so far. He's been able to stay out. Obviously, not a lot of other drivers or any drivers taking tires there during that first pit stop. And for the 89, he takes the track position, and so far it's working out perfectly into his favor, but he's the only driver not to come down pit road and get fuel into his race car. Now, with everyone else coming down pit side around lap number 7, I'm not sure what the fuel mileage entails and how long these guys can go before they need to make a pit stop and need to get fuel into their rides. And for Donald, that may have been the big mistake. If he has to make a green flag pit stop here before the end of the stage and everybody else can make it on to the end, his 89 ride is going to be stuck in a very, very tough position, and that will put him down pit road by himself. Won't be in any type of draft, won't have any help out there on the racetrack, and be kind of just stuck deeper in the field and potentially even going a lap down, having to make that green flag pit stop off sequence from all these other drivers. As Cameron Combs, though, Combs has the race lead now, making the big move down low. He jumps out in front. Dom Salvo right there with him. Salvo looking to try to work his way up there, trying to battle his way to the point here in that Williamsburg contracting ride as he looks to the outside of this Mobile 1, number 15 of Cameron Combs. As Combs rolls right there to his inside, but a great run for that number 19 ride, who about almost took that race lead away right there. But yo, Michael Dickinson, what's good, Papa Mike? Papa Mike coming in, showing the love. What is good, Papa Mike coming in, dropping that heart reaction over on the broadcast. How are you today? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday as Dom Salvo able to take the race lead there, able to lead that lap, keeping Cameron Combs back in second. But Combs going to continue to battle here down to his inside. The momentum and the speed is farther up the track, farther up the track there compared to the 19 ride. And now we see, oh baby, look out, Billy Jordan shoots down the racetrack here at a corner number 2. My gosh, another great save here, another driver just being able to collect their car as the 77 Casey Gross going to jump up and into the hole right there. Unfortunately for Casey, this is a big move for Casey, man. This is a big, big move. Obviously trying to fill that hole, trying to clear the 14 ride. I don't know if he just gets loose or if he's trying to jump up here. Nonetheless, he gets hard contact up and into the outside fence. And for the 14 ride, has to roll out of the throttle, and the car just shoots down the racetrack. Luckily enough, he's able to catch it. Does not go around. That could have made for a big hit into the inside fence if that thing would have broke loose on him. And luckily enough, he's able to keep it rolling and keep on battling here. Now he does lose a bunch of positions, and now all of a sudden has slid to the rear of the field here. He's currently scored back in the 25th position, and that is not a fun place to be, as Billy Jordan will try to recollect everything, try to get battling here again. Is out in front. It is this 19 ride as the 19 machine continues to lead this race. It's Dom Salvo at the point here. Cameron Combs in second. Caleb McKinney in position number 3. Donald Brame there in position number 4, with Aaron Barnickel back in 5th. Adolfo Castillo rolls there in 6th with Corey Crowell. Great break here for Corey. Corey missed the start of this race, and unfortunately for the 2 ride, had to start down pit side. That early caution flag got him back in with this group. He was able to make some moves, and for that number 2 ride, all of a sudden, he went from being potentially the first car to go a lap down, or at least, about 10-15 seconds behind the lead pack, to now up here battling inside the top 10, looking to try to take over the 6th position from Adolfo Castillo. And, man, he's looking strong here this evening. He may have something for our leaders at the front of the field, as he will clear that number 31. And Corey looking to continue his race towards the front of the field. Last week's winner in the 7 ride in that beautiful look machine here this evening. That is Devin Black. Black was able to win our opening race last Sunday afternoon, and here he is back up inside the top 10, looking for another good run, as he's got the Scott Bloomquist ride rolling here at the front, and trying to pick up maybe a couple more spots here. He quickly drew in that 31 right of Adolfo Castillo in the 2 machine. We'll have to wait and see if he can make some more moves here, as we do see Grant Humphrey right there as well. Grant, great run in his first race last weekend, and now looking to back it up with another big run here this evening, as Wayne Garland there in 10th, having a solid start to this race here in that Dark Horse Motorsports ride, as he rolls back there in that 10th position. Bromfield right there with him. Then we do see the 64 ride here. That's the 64 of John Dutel. Dutel there in position number 11. Bromfield right there behind him. Al Reed in the Freedom. Charlie Kirk, number 3 ride, rolls there in 13th, with Casey Gross back in 14th, James Garland down to his inside, and then we do see the 99 of Chris Muse. Muse, who was our early race leader, our pole sitter here this evening. Unfortunately, had a little contact there on the restart. Almost went around, kind of lost it on his own, got a little help there, but bounced off a couple cars and was able to keep it pointing in the right direction, kept it clean and green, and unfortunately fell deep into the field, but now it's starting to recollect some of these positions, starting to drive his way back up towards the front of the pack. As out in front of the pack, it is this beautiful number 19 ride of Dom Salvo. Salvo continues to lead this race. Cameron Combs right there behind him as they just completed lap number 20. So lap number 20 now off the board here. They are now on the 21st lap of this race, and that means we only got about 9 laps left to go. Technically, well, about 9.5 laps left to go here in this stage. So stage number 1 coming to a close in a quick curl. You do still see that 89 ride of Donald Brame out there. Brame yet to come down pit road here. Everyone else was down pit side on lap number 7 for the 89 machine. He still rolls out there. Even if he was able to save a little bit of fuel during that caution flag, it's still going to get potentially really tight on fuel for that 89 ride. Alrighty, as he's trying to continue to battle here with Devin Black. Black looking to try to keep on moving forward. Bromfield right there as well as Josh now inside the top 10 as after Wayne Garland kind of fell out of it. But here comes Al Reed. John Dutel right there as well. Reed looking to try to make some big moves now into that 12th position. Chris Muse up to 14th as we saw him fall back there to about that he was back in about 23rd, 24th position, almost at the rear of the field here. Luckily enough, he's been able to kind of rebound nicely back up to about mid-pack here on the Speedway. It's James Garland right behind him in that 15th position. Mike Killingbeck, Casey Gross, the 0-2 at Chad Lancaster there in 18th. He was the car that went around that brought that first caution flag out, so he's looking to rebound after that spin. Unfortunately for Casey, continues to fall backwards as here comes that number 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger. Great to see Puffenbarger out there on the Speedway. Always good to see Puffenbarger out there having a good time out here on the simulator, as we do see Edward Belair in that Detroit Lions number 25 ride. Lions absolutely smoked. I can't remember who the heck they were playing today, but whoever it was, they absolutely smoked them. I can't even remember what the score. I know at one point in time it was 52 to something. So, man, the Detroit Lions definitely picking it up from last week. That is for certain. Slow week for them last week. Great week this week, as we do see Johnny Thunders back there in 21st. Then we see Kurt Sponsler there in 22nd. Gary Wright back in 23rd. It's Chris Wolford back in position number 24 here in that Red Baron number 47 ride. And then we see Billy Jordan, Billy, back there in that 14th spot on the Speedway. It's out in front, though. It is Dom Salvo. Salvo has the race lead. He is out in front looking to try to win this stage after what has been a very interesting battle, very interesting race here for a lot of these drivers. Obviously, we see a bit of a mix-up here at the front of the field. A lot of the drivers that started up here on the, the front row have all of a sudden kind of fallen back a little bit. We see Aaron Barnacle. He's there. He's in 5th. Now, he started on the outside of the front row, still hanging on to it. Muse with his issues back in position number 12, trying to battle his way back after qualifying on the pole. We take a look at, a driver like Casey Gross. Casey started in the 4th position, now sits back in the 21st spot on the Speedway, and Billy Jordan, who started in position number 3, Billy back here in the 24th spot, as we did see Gary Wright make his way down pit side here, making the first wave of green flag pit stops. He does go a lap down, so we'll have to wait and see, what that's going to look like here over the next little bit. Is out in front, Dom Salvo, hoping to try to win this stage, knowing that there's a lot of extra bonus points on the line here and points for the regular season, so he's trying to hold off this charge from Caleb McKinney. He knows Cameron Combs right there as well, going to be hungry to try to jump up here and maybe steal the stage win as well, as we do finally see Donald come down pit road. So Donald Brame finally comes down pit side here in that 89 ride with only about, 4 laps left to go here in this stage, and unfortunately for the 89 ride, I'm not sure if any of these other drivers are going to have to make a green flag pit stop, and that may put him a lap down. He may be able to get the lucky dog. He may just be at a fuel disadvantage a little longer here on the evening, so we'll have to wait and see kind of how that plays out for him. As here comes McKinney, nice and easy down the front straightaway after being able to slide up, clear that 19 ride. Salvo's still trying to get it back, though, still trying to work his way in front of him, as we do see Donald still rolling down pit road. He will fall a lap down, as there goes our race leaders right on around him here with only about 3 laps left here in this stage. Now there is going to be the stage break, and there will be a lucky dog. So if you are the 89 ride, you could potentially get the lucky dog. If everyone else comes back down pit road, you may have a free opportunity. Now you just may lose a little bit of track position. It was a valiant effort and definitely a good try right there on maybe hoping to try to catch a late caution flag before needing that pit stop, and unfortunately just didn't quite work out too well for him. But nonetheless, as of right now, it is going to be Dom Salvo and Caleb McKinney continue to duke it out here. 2 laps left here in stage number 1. So 2 laps left to duke it out here in this one. And this is going to be a tight fight right down to the end, as the 76 of McKinney wants to take the stage win. The 19 ride of Dom Salvo says, I do not want to give it up, and continues the battle and fight back there on the outside lane. But now slowly but surely, you see this 15 ride of Cameron Combs trying to poke his nose up and into that battle, as here comes a big run down the front straightaway, drives it down to the inside. 19 run may now have the preferred line here, heading down into corner number 1. We'll have to wait and see what these two are able to do and who's going to come out on top with it, because it could get very, very interesting in a quick hurry, as 76 able to just find the speed, find the run that he was looking for down the back straightaway, and that may be all she wrote there. Is our final lap of stage number 1 coming to a close as Caleb McKinney slides into corner number 3. Here comes the 15 ride of Cameron Combs on the outside groove here. He's able to jump up past that number 19 ride as well, but I'm not sure if he's going to get there. It'll be a tight race for second, but for Caleb McKinney, McKinney does win stage number 1 here this evening. It is Cameron Combs able to snag position number 2 away from Salvo. Salvo back there in third. Corey Crowell, great recovery for him, as he is going to be in position number 4 here. Grant Humphrey up and into 5th. Adolfo Castillo there in 6th. Josh Bromfield, Chris Muse, Aaron Barnickel back there in 9th, and John Dutel there in position number 10. Alrighty, so our first stage is in the history books here this evening. First stage has come and gone, and that means we will get ready to set these guys loose. We will get ready to go back to battle here in just a couple more moments. We did see also there at the end of the stage some issues here coming down to the line for Brandon Puffenbarger. Looks like him and Mike Killingback get tied together here. This is as the stage break was happening, and unfortunately for the Midwest Motorsports ride, the MVP roofing machine gets a little bit of contact there, obviously on the front right, but also there to the rear end as well. Let's see if we can take another look here at Killingback. Is Killingback also going for this slide? I'm not sure if he ends up making any more contact with anyone else, or what the issues may have been here for that 70 machine, as it looks like he's trying to hang on to it. Comes back up the racetrack. Luckily enough, no one there. He does not make any extra contact with anybody, and luckily enough, no big hits or anything here. So good runs, good racing, and some great fun here this evening already in stage number 1, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll here for stage number 2. Stage number 2, it's going to be another 30-lap run here for this next stage as well, which will bring us, I do believe, to lap number 60 here this evening. So we do have some more things there. We did see another driver run into a problem here. What in the world happened to Casey Gross? Looks like Casey down on the apron here. Not sure if he just gets stopped on the racetrack or what was going on with this Quantum Motorsports 77 ride. It looks like he comes to a stop right here. I'm not sure if he ran out of fuel, maybe. If that was potentially the case, you do see Billy Jordan goes around trying to avoid him right there. So I'm not sure if Maybe some issues there for the 77. Maybe the 14 ride will give a helping hand. Does not look like it. And for Casey Gross, ladies and gentlemen, the 77 ride cutting it close on fuel, maybe a little too close as he runs out of fuel and now sits back in position number 25, and this may put him easily a lap or two down out there on the speedway as here comes our race leaders right on around him here, and this may put him a lap down out there on the racetrack here in a quick hurry. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this and see kind of who's going to be there to maybe make a move, maybe put him a lap down, keep him trapped a lap down. He may even go 2 laps down here. We'll have to wait and see as Cale McKinney does win the fight back down and out of pit lane. So Gil McKinney, Cameron Combs, Chris Muse, Bromfield, Salvo, all these guys all coming down pit road right here. Same with Humphrey, Corey Crowell, John Dutel. All these guys coming down pit road, getting their fuel and tires and everything else that they desire, and we'll get ready to set these guys loose. We'll get ready to see who can make a move and who can try to put themselves into what could be potentially a victory lane here this evening, or at least trying to pick up some more stage points here just on the day. If you can earn some pretty solid stage points, if you can put yourself into a position to get the stage points here in this race, then maybe potentially it could, make a bad turnout, a bad race towards the end, turn into still a pretty decent day. If you get a pretty decent finish and you earn quite a bit of stage points, it could turn out to make a mediocre day into a great day here when it comes down to our point standings. Only being the second race into the season, you always got to have those points at the back of your mind. You don't know when the wins will come or if they'll be easy to get, and that could definitely put you into a position that you're going to have to try and race your way into a win later in the season to try to lock yourself into the playoffs, or if you just try to take it a little bit easier, not making mistakes, and hoping that you can work yourself just into the playoffs alone on merit and points out there on the speedway as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble here once again. As out in front, this is Caleb McKinney. Looks like McKinney's going to elect to use that outside lane here on the restart. So McKinney will jump to the outside groove. He'll get ready to rock and roll as Mr. Humphrey says strategy recap. 3 sets of tires, 25 laps on a tank of fuel. Okay, beauty. So 25 laps on a tank of fuel here. And with 3 sets of tires, that's going to make things very, very interesting here. Drivers are definitely going to have to be a little bit easier on their tires and obviously trying to save, some for later in this race. As Mr. Humphrey says, drivers will not be able to take tires at some point in this race. Watch out for late race caution. Drivers who save a set of tires will be the ones to watch. Yeah, 100%. And that could be the big game plan here. That could be the big play for a lot of these drivers. As what's good, Michael? What's good? Daniel coming in showing the love. Jonathan Lynch says, go broke boy. Yeah, Poor Boy Motorsports out there hoping to have a good run here this evening. Daniel, how are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a great day. Says, long time no see. How are you, man? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday. And hello there as well to Mr. Halfla Dawson. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Probably still getting it wrong, even though I did get it right for a while. It's been a long time since I said your last name, Michael, but appreciate you guys tuning in and showing the love here this evening. As Caleb McKinney out in front, sees that green flag fly. Cameron Combs back there in that second position, looking to duke it out with them as here comes that 12 ride of Josh Bromfield, the 99 of Chris Muse. Look out as here comes Dom Salvo right there in that Shenko. Custom diecast ride works to the back bumper of this 12 machine as they all spread out 3, 4, almost 5 wide through these corners. Everyone trying to find their lane, trying to find their groove, and hoping that they can gain that extra bit of speed, momentum to try and put themselves up and into victory lane. As Jonathan says, Poor Boy Motorsports all day, he says, all day for the Poor Boy Motorsports team here this evening. As Josh Bromfield right there battling still inside the top 5, but it's John Dutel down low in the 64. able to slide up in front of him, jumps into that 4th position. So John making a bit of a come up here, working his way towards the front of the field, and for that THRL machine, looking to try to battle his way up to the front here of the pack. As Chris Muse rolls there in position number 6, Devin Black there in 7th. Last week's winner looking to try to continue his good start to the season here as he rolls back in that 7th spot in the 7 ride. He's got Grant Humphrey, Adolfo Castillo, Corey Crowell right there with him. James Garland there in 11th with Aaron Barnickel back in position number 12. Kurt Sponsler there in 13th with Billy Jordan. Wayne Garland, Edward Belair there in 16th. Chris Wolford there in 17th with Al Reed in the Freedom Ride. Rolls there in position number 18. Chad Lancaster, Mike Killingbeck. The 60 ride of Johnny Thunders. The 89 of Donald Brame. And then we see Gary Wright and Brandon Puffin Barker rounding out our lead lap cars. Unfortunately for Casey Gross, he is back out on the racetrack, but for Casey, running out of fuel before they were able to hit pit road. And for the 77 ride, that was a huge mistake, as he is now sitting at least a lap down out there on the racetrack, and he may quickly become 2 laps down. Our race leaders just completing that lap, and for the number 77 ride, definitely not in a spot you want to be out there on the Speedway, as out in front it is Caleb McKinney. McKinney continuing to lead this race. Dom Salvo there in 2nd. Cameron Combs up into 3rd. John Dutel still in 4th, but Devin Black has worked his way now into that 5th position. Adolfo Castillo there in position number 6 on the racetrack here. So sitting in position number 6, the 31 ride continues to try to work his way back up through the field as he's strolling in that 31 ride. James Garland having himself a day here as well. The 37 machine up into position number 7 here this evening. Let's take another look at this race car. Let's see what it's on here. Okay, so it's the Adult Congenital Heart Association running on board here with this 37 ride here this evening. We absolutely love that. Love supporting the charities here on the stream, and obviously having James having the Adult Congenital Heart Association on board with this 37 ride here this evening. Absolutely love it as he's working to the back bumper of that 31 ride. Almost made a little contact there with that left rear quarter panel. Definitely could have almost turned that 31 ride around. Could have almost brought out a yellow flag right there, as we do see everyone kind of running about the same pace. We don't really see too many drivers completely off the pace here, or really, you know, far out of it or falling too far back. So far, at least 40 laps into this race, I'm not sure if everyone came down pit road and got tires, or everyone elected not to get tires again. But nonetheless, they are running about 0.5 to a second slower than they were early on here on their best laps of the day. So definitely the pace has backed up. So it kind of has me imagining that maybe a lot of drivers during that pit stop did not take tires again. They didn't take any on that first pit stop after the caution flag on lap number 7, but I think here during the stage break, I don't think there was really any takers. We'll have to wait and see kind of what these guys were rolling, what they were thinking here, what they were doing, trying to come down pit road, maybe not take the tires here and try to use it to their advantage later on in the evening. Let's see if we can take a look here at a couple of these guys up closer to the front of the field at a driver like, let's take a look at maybe, I'm going to find one of these guys. Let's look at Josh Bromfield here. What does Bromfield do? So he comes down into his pit stall. See a bunch of these drivers, including Dom Salvo. Looks like Salvo definitely puts tires on. Looking for a few other guys. Did not look like any tires going on to the 76 ride. Caleb McKinney there. McKinney getting no tires. So, okay, it's a little bit more spread out here. Some guys definitely taking tires. Other drivers not taking tires here. So that's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out later in this stage, as obviously that's going to really shape things up a little differently. But as you look at it, the 76 ride of Caleb McKinney, who did not take tires, still out in front of the field, still leading this race. Dom Salvo right there with them. So obviously the tires really not paying huge dividends to some of those cats that took them early on, as the Number 76 still out front, continuing to lead this race. Maybe the fresh air, the clean air, maybe that's the best part. Maybe that's what you need to kind of do it and have it and, put yourself into victory lane. As some great racing here for McKinney, for Dom Salvo. You do see Adolfo Castillo now up and into position number 3. Devin Black there in 4. So potentially these guys definitely may have taken tires, and now they're moving their way towards the front of the field here. James Garland up and into 5th. John Dutel, Al Reed all moving towards the front. Were there any other takers, any other drivers that may have potentially elected not to take those tires? You look back at the 15 ride of Cameron Combs. Cameron was one of those guys that did not take tires there, and for the 15 he has unfortunately slid all the way back here into 22nd. Aaron Barnacle, he's lost about 19 positions from where he started here on the outside of the front row. He didn't take any tires there as well, so this could definitely make things a whole lot more interesting here in this second stage, knowing that there could be different tires, different strategies, different game plans for a bunch of these drivers here this evening. And we'll just have to wait and see kind of how this gets played out as Caleb McKinney going to click off another lap right there. Lap 45 now completed here this evening, as this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a great time to try and put yourself, into a position for strategy-wise here. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of racing left to go. We still got a lot of time for drivers to, move around, try to make some moves, try to find a couple different lanes out there, or maybe just taking it easy. Stage points, they are nice this early in the season. Maybe not quite a necessity, maybe more or less just wanting to work and just be there at the end, give up the stage points to try and get the trying to get all the other points here as well. So we'll have to wait and see kind of how this gets played out, and who's going to be able to put themselves into the winning strategy here this evening. As McKinney's been looking strong, there's been a lot of cats that have looked really, really good throughout this race, and we'll have to continue to wait and see who's going to be able to move here and put themselves into a better spot out there on the racetrack. As McKinney, Dom Salvo, the 31 of Adolfo Castillo, Devin Black, Al Reed now are top 5 out there on the racetrack. But when you look back deeper to drivers like Grant Humphrey, you look at John Dutel, who's been falling backwards now. You look at other drivers that are continuing to move up through the field like Chris Wolford. Wolford now sits in the 8th position. Kurt Sponsler there in 7th. James Garland up and into 6th here. So some of these drivers that were a little deeper in the field now starting to work their way towards the front. Now, whether or not that's tire strategy or if that's just them trying to do whatever they can to give themselves a bit of an edge here later in the night. But we'll take a look here and see as they continue to keep on battling, and take a look at our race leader here, Caleb McKinney, as we'll jump on board here with McKinney, see what McKinney can do here for a lap. Let's jump on board and go for a ride along here with this number 76. Alrighty, so there's a lap on board with that 76 ride of Caleb McKinney, as he does lose the top spot. You see the 19 ride of Dom Salvo able to get in front of him, and Dom now out in front, but still it's the 76 working to his back bumper. Maybe he's got a little something left in the tank here as we get closer and closer to the end of stage number 2 this evening. Stage number 2 about to come to a close here in about 10 laps from now, as down across the line they will complete lap number 50. So lap number 50 now done and gone, and we start our 51st lap of the evening, as Dom Salvo knows there's 10 laps left to go on this stage. He wants to try and pick up the he wants to try and pick up this stage points. He wants to get that bonus point for the playoffs as well, as McKinney able to win stage number 1. He's wanting to try to win stage number 2 here as well, but he's going to have to try to keep a little extra something here for maybe in the closing laps, or maybe even just right now, looking to hopefully try to get back out in front. Here he comes, drives down to the inside of that 19 ride, hoping for a big run here, hoping to try to get to that inside there, trying to side draft him. Unfortunately, could not side draft that number 19 ride, as we do see Salvo open up a bit of an advantage right there. Here comes Adolfo Castillo reeling in that 76 ride, and now maybe starting to see the tires falling off for that number 76 machine ever so slightly, as we still see more drivers trying to work themselves forward. Chris Wolford up and into 7th here in that 47 ride, the Red Baron machine, navigating his way in the second half of this stage area, and here he is working his way up and in to position number 7 on the Speedway as of right now. James Garland doing a great job there in 6th. Al Reed in that Charlie Kirk Freedom ride rolls in that 5th position. As Dom Salvo, though, Salvo out in front. The laps are closing down, and the drivers behind him are closing the gap. They're reeling him in once again. And where do we come with fuel here? Obviously, fuel mileage going to play a factor in this. We did see Cameron Combs just down pit side. We did see Gary Wright and Johnny Thunders already make a pit stop as well. We saw Casey Gross back down pit road. He made another pit stop there for the 77 ride. Unfortunately here for Casey, I do believe for Casey, he's going to be right now at least 2 laps down out there on the racetrack, almost 3 laps down, as our race leaders are almost basically straightaway away from potentially catching up to him right here, and we'll have to wait and see, because man, this has been a lot of fun, man. These guys have been putting on a show. Some great racing, a lot of good, hard, clean, and respectful racing out there on the Speedway, as Salvo Castillo, Caleb McKinney now back into 3rd, as we'll have to wait and see when these drivers will have to make their way down pit road. Everyone pitted around lap number 32, and with a 25 lap run here, obviously there's not going to be a lot there. There's not going to be a ton of time to try to move forward or make moves or anything else here late in this stage. But if you can gain a couple spots down pit road by pitting early or staying out a little bit longer, we'll have to wait and see how that strategy plays out for them. Obviously, we saw a couple drivers early on, like Cameron Combs, Gary Wright, Johnny Thunders, making those earlier pit stops, hoping that maybe they can leapfrog a couple of their competitors out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but there's still about 21 drivers left to still make their pit stop here in stage number 2. By my calculations, lap 32 to around lap number 57 is about as far as they can go on a tank of fuel. So now that they are about to complete lap number 55 the next time by here on the start-finish line, that means that we're only really going to see probably about a couple more laps here before drivers start to work their way down pit road. And now you really just cannot make a mistake. You cannot have a pit road speeding penalty, potentially get that penalty, and take yourself out of any contention here this evening. Being trapped a lap or multiple laps down may just take you completely out of this race. So you gotta be clean, you gotta be easy, as we do see James Garland. Here comes John Dutel, Wayne Garland, Kurt Sponsler, Donald Brame. We do see Aaron Barnickel, Chad Lancaster all coming down pit road now. So more and more drivers starting to make these pit stops, and I do believe next time by we may see a couple more. Do we have any more takers? We'll have to wait here, as down across the line they will complete lap number 56, and by our calculations maybe about a lap or so left of fuel, as here comes Devin Black, here comes Killingback, here comes Billy Jordan down pit road. We'll see where they kind of migrate back into the field, where they're able to kind of slide in, whether they gain any positions or maybe lose a couple spots here to the drivers that have already made their second pit stop of the day. As Castillo out in front, door to door here with Dom Salvo. Salvo, all these drivers, man, they got to be a little bit nervous. They got to be a little bit worried some about how this is going to play out. And here you go, you do see the 31 onto pit lane, but you see the big move from the 76. Oh, baby, you gotta get checked up. Does he get there in time? It looks like it. Oh my, I wasn't sure if Caleb McKinney was gonna get checked up that quickly. You see the 31 of Adolfo Castillo playing it a little bit more aggressive. getting onto the apron a little earlier, getting checked up a little earlier, making sure that he didn't drive too fast into pit road entry. And unfortunately, we will see one driver earn that black flag, and it's Al Reed. Looks like Al Reed will get a black flag here, speeding down pit road, and unfortunately for the number 3 ride, this is going to hurt his chances to try to put himself into a winning situation here this evening. Next time around here, we do see Dom head down pit side. We do see Edward Belair. I'm sure we should see pretty much everybody make their way down pit road this time as Chris Muse, he's slow on it. And oh, Edward Belair. Edward going to get a black flag here as well. Black flag to the 25 ride of Edward Belair. That is a heartbreaker there for him. We do see Chris Muse staying out here, though. Chris Muse going to stay out and down across the line. He'll complete lap number 58, and that means we only got 2 more laps left here in this stage. Does he have enough fuel to get to the end of the stage and also still make a pit stop, roll around for a lap or 2 under caution? I don't know if he's gonna have enough. I don't know if you could even save that much fuel to put yourself into that position, so we'll have to wait and see how this plays out here for this 99 ride. For Corey Crowell, he's in the same boat here, has not come down pit road for the second time either. Devin Black, Dom Salvo, all these guys right here that are now moving around Dom. Dom unfortunately slides back to 5th for Devin Black, making that a little bit earlier of a pit stop, puts this Bloomquist right into position number 3, and that may be the battle right here for that top spot here and for the stage win, as Chris Muse is going to stay out at least again. So 1 more lap left here in this stage. Corey Crowell in second. He's going to stay out as well. So some big moves here by these guys. Obviously some bold strategies being played out, and we'll have to wait and see how this kind of, gets figured out, how this kind of gets played out for a lot of these drivers, as fuel obviously going to be a big question. We saw Casey Gross run out of fuel there at the end of stage number 1. He had to tow that car down pit road, and then unfortunately ran out of fuel. But here we go, the 99 ride still rolling down on the apron, still has the race lead. Looks like he's just trying to save as much as possible, and it's going to work out in his favor as he will win stage number 2. So Chris Muse wins stage number 2 here this evening. Corey Crowell will come home in second in the long game strategy there, just trying to save fuel here throughout this stage. Works out perfectly for him, as Adolfo Castillo will come home in 3rd, Devin Black in 4th, Dom Salvo there in 5th, Mike Killingbeck, Caleb McKinney, Grant Humphrey, Chris Wolford, and James Garland going to round out our top 10 here in stage number 2, all earning some stage points here today. But man, what a run, what a drive there for Chris Muse and Corey Crowell. But now here's the big question. Muse down low on the apron, the 2 right up on the high side here. How close are they on fuel? Can they make it to where pit road is open? Can they make this pit stop right now? Maybe they just take their lashings, take the penalty, and come down pit road this time. Make sure that they, can get some service done to these cars, and not, it's, I think a penalty for coming down pit road before pit road's open here during the yellow flag would be, I believe, tail end of the longest line. So for the 99 rider, Chris Muse, he's going to give up that track position, but he does earn 10 points throughout the regular season point standings, plus an extra bonus point for the playoffs as well. So maybe it's definitely more deserved. Maybe he's got a good enough car. He feels he can drive his way up and through the field and maybe get towards the front of the pack here to try to slice and dice his way up there to maybe still win this race. But we did see Corey Crowell. He did stay out, so he was able to keep on rolling here, able to keep on battling. We'll see if he can kind of make it to pit road. We'll wait and see if anyone else decides to come down pit side as well, because there's going to be a lot of drivers, a lot of takers here, I think. Maybe coming back down pit side, trying to give themselves that extra little bit of fuel economy, that extra little bit in their tank that could make the big difference. So you get 25 laps to a tank of fuel here. That's, at least 2 pit stops here in this final stage, knowing that it's 55 laps. Maybe you can stretch it out, maybe to 1 pit stop, maybe if you go to lap, I don't know, I don't think you can. You pit here on lap number, 61, 62. You come down pit road here on lap number 62, you get another 25 laps or so, even if you're saving. maybe you get 30 laps to a tank. That may put you towards lap number 92. That means you're still going to have, what, a 25, a 33, 34 lap run to the end of this race. So that still means that you're going to have to go beyond that 30 lap marker here for a second time. I think it's going to be really, really tough. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to make it there on just one more pit stop. I think everyone is going to have to make 2 pit stops here during our final stage of the day, and that could really open up the door for more big mistakes. We saw mistakes out of a few drivers there during that stage. There was a few of them that unfortunately paid the price for that one, and we did see Chris Muse earn the black flag, so he will come, I do believe, and serve his penalty, or he'll have to take his penalty at the start of this restart. But for Al Reed hoping to get the wave around here. Same with Casey Gross. They were trying to get back on the lead lap. I believe Brandon Puffenbarger did come down pit road, so that will keep him a lap down out there on the racetrack. Not too sure. Looks like Edward Belair also still going to be a lap down as well. So a few guys, unfortunately, not taking the wave around. A few other drivers electing to try to take the wave around. For Casey Gross, he came down pit road on lap number 48, so he's going to have a lot less fuel than everybody else, and we'll have to pit probably, 10, 15 laps before the rest of the field here, in this run. So if it stays clean and green, it could definitely hurt him. But now here we go. We do see Al Reed. He also comes down pit road. So Al Reed, unfortunately, back down pit side here as well for Al. He is a lap down out there on the racetrack. And the 3 Ryan going to make the pit stop, going to bite the bullet here. We did see Cameron Combs coming back down pit road. Brandon Puffenbarger also down pit side here. Puffenbarger still a lap down here today as well. So tough break there for both of those drivers. But for both him and Al Reed, obviously they could be in position to try to get some lucky dogs out there, and if they can get the lucky dog and potentially get that wave around back on the lead lap, maybe that's where they can start to try to make a comeback here. As he can never, no comeback ever started from the lead, okay? No comeback ever started at the front of the field. The comebacks only happen when you're not the race leader, so we'll have to wait and see who has the comeback story here tonight, who's going to be able to try to drive their way up to the front and maybe find their way into victory lane. Could we potentially see the same race winner back-to-back weeks? Devin Black has looked pretty strong. He rolls right now in the 9th position out there on the racetrack. Can we see this Bloomquist machine work his way up and in to victory lane this evening and win back-to-back races to start this season? We'll have to wait and find out as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening. Just past halfway in, just past, halfway to go here in this one. So we're just into the battle. Still a lot of racing left to go. Still a lot of back and forth and a lot of duking it out here for these drivers. There's about 51 laps or so left to go here in this race. Is down and across the line. Back to green flag racing, and we'll jump in to a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. give it up for these drivers, man. A beautiful crank it up session here this evening. As out in front, it is still the 76 ride. It is Caleb McKinney at the point as green flag pit stops are underway. Drivers heading down pit road. Here comes Adolfo Castillo. Here comes that 66. Look out! Around goes Aaron Barnickel. Barnickel goes around. Now going to roll backwards down pit lane. See if you can get this thing pointed back in the right direction. Unfortunately, having a great run and a great drive here this evening. That mistake is going to hurt him a ton this evening. That could definitely take away any opportunity for this 66 ride to try to find victory lane today, as we do see, some more issues here. More contact on pit road, as it looks like the 60 and the 19 ride going to make contact. Dom Salvo, he is making his pit stop for the 60 ride of Johnny Thunders. He's just getting done his pit stop. He rolls up onto the racetrack. They're rolling here. He sees the 31 ride coming down to his pit stall, and then they just kind of meet in the middle right there. So for the 19, he's coming down towards his pit box. For the 60 ride, he's jumping to the outside lane, and unfortunately, they just meet in the middle, make contact here. And unfortunately for both drivers, they are going to go around. They both make pretty good contact there with the pit wall, and pretty solid damage for both of them. And this is definitely going to take potentially this 19 ride out of an opportunity, out of a chance to win this race here this evening. That is going to be a big setback there for Dom this evening, as Cameron Combs now heading down pit side. Here comes Caleb McKinney down and out of pit lane. We did see Donald Brame also down pit road. Chris Wolford also getting done his pit stop, as we'll have to wait and see where everyone kind of gets lined up here, where everyone kind of gets settled back in. Some of those drivers that may have pitted a little earlier may have used it to their advantage here throughout that first lap or two of the fresher tires. But for Caleb McKinney, he's able to jump back out in front, still has the race lead, even though he pitted a lap later than that 31 ride of Adolfo Castillo. Castillo still back here at tow. Chet Lancaster, Corey Crowell right there. Josh Bromfield in the 6th position. Donald Brain there in 7th. John Dutel, Chris Wolford, and Kurt Sponsler rounding out our top 10. But as of right now, Caleb McKinney with the race lead here, looking very strong. Here comes Cameron Combs just rolling back out onto the racing surface. So as he rolls back out here, this is definitely going to shape some different things up here. This is going to make things a little bit more crazy, as here comes Casey Gross now down pit side. He heads down pit road. Unfortunately, we look back here, we see Al Reed still a lap down here, unfortunately, for the 3 ride, the Freedom Machine back in 24 for Chris Muse. He's also a lap down back here, as well as James Garland, Edward Belair, Brandon Puffenbarger now a lap down. The number 60 ride of Johnny Thunders now a lap down here, as well as he had just been passed by our race leader Caleb McKinney. When we look at the 19 ride, who was up inside the top 5, top 3 pretty much all race long for Dom Salvo, now scored back in about that 14th position, and he's about 17 seconds away from Caleb McKinney. And it looks like McKinney, if this stays clean and green, as long as he doesn't make any big mistakes up there, as long as he doesn't run into any major issues down pit road or anything else, this could be his race to lose. He's got a 4.4 second advantage between himself and now Corey Crowell, as Crowell able to slide up, clear Chad Lancaster for position number 2. In doing so, it's allowing McKinney to pull farther away here, and McKinney continues to try to stretch out that race lead more and more. But we do see one driver off the racetrack here, the 31 of Adolfo Castillo goes for a spin. He's down in the infield grass. No caution flag as of yet. Let's take a look at it here. Now, he was down on the apron here, and some pretty solid right front damage, it looks like. Maybe not. Not sure why you get down onto the apron here for the Quantum Motorsports ride. Adolfo Castillo, this may have been a penalty or something that may have happened to him, and unfortunately for the 31, just down the apron, then down into the infield grass, goes for a loop-de-loop. Now, luckily enough, does not slide around and bring a caution flag out. That is great news for everybody. So we keep it clean and green out there on the speedway. Unfortunately, though, for the 31 ride, he does lose a lot right there. Falls quite a ways back here, loses a ton of track position, and could potentially be one of those drivers to go a lap down here rather sooner than later. And now here he comes back down pit road. So he is coming down pit side, and you do see that right front damage. So unfortunately for that 31 ride, the right front damage obviously too much there. He couldn't quite get down to pit road speed or down onto pit road after making contact, and now having to come back the lap next to make his way down pit road. This is definitely going to probably completely end his chances of potentially winning this race. Now a lap down, he's down there, he's got this thing revved right up. I don't know if he's trying to blow her up or what's going on, but he gets it repaired, gets it rolling here, and gets strolling once again out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, does lose a lap here to our race leader is out in front. It is Caleb McKinney who continues to lead the way. 4.7 seconds between himself and Corey Crowell. Chad Lancaster there in third. Josh Bromfield, the Poor Boy Motorsports ride, rolls there in position number 4. So great run right here for that Poor Boy Motorsports machine. As Rodney Stewart, what's good, Rodney? Rodney says, what's up, Peacemaker Gaming? Nice, crank it up. Yes, Sirski, beautiful, crank it up. Must Love Poodle says, that's my boy, go 48. As Anthony Garland says, let's go, Poor Boy Motorsports. I missed the race today because I was watching racing at the local track. Finished 8th out of 22 cars after spending. Hey man, that's a viable reason to miss out on it, man. Always going out and experiencing the real life thing, going out to the racetrack and being to running some of those laps, man. Definitely something that you need. A commentator needs a coffee. Laugh loud. I definitely need a coffee. That is for certain, man. I would love a coffee right now, man. I would love a coffee. That is for certain. I haven't had a coffee or an energy drink all day, and I definitely need one, man. I definitely need one, especially for our second race later on tonight. I may need to run to the store and quickly go grab a couple energy drinks or something, or grab some cream, make some coffee, because we definitely want to get some of that. As Anthony says, yeah, I won't miss any more, though. As long as you only miss one, man, then it's not too bad. I mean, you know, you miss one, you lose out on some of the points, but not too much, not too bad, where it's not going to affect your, your playoffs or anything else too majorly. So that's at least a good mark on that. So we'll have to keep on battling and keep on having these guys keep on working their way out there on the racetrack. And obviously having you missing tonight, I don't know if we were missing anyone else, but obviously, seeing everyone kind of just getting back onto the sim, getting back into the swing of things. Obviously, summer's still here. Summer's still kind of rolling. Obviously, racing season in real life slowly but surely coming to an end. We have a drop week. Okay, so there is one drop week, too. So, hey, you know what? Take this as your drop week and then just focus on the rest of the racing action, man. And that's all you got to worry about, man. That's all you got to worry about, brother. That's what it's all about right there. As the AG Designs 250, man, is quickly coming to a close here. Down across the line, Caleb McKinney just clicked off lap number 96. So 96 laps completed. We are under 30 laps left to go here in this race, and right now it is a 4.6, almost 4.7 gap still between McKinney and Corey Crowell. And with another wave of green flag pit stops on the horizon for these drivers, we're gonna have to see them come back down pit road here. I'm gonna say probably about the next 10 laps or so, 10-15 laps. We're gonna start to see these guys start navigating their way back down pit lane, making pit stops once again here this evening, which would be their final pit stop of the day. And if you got those fresh tires, you may want to put them on if you want to try to make a gamble and not put the fresh tires on here and hope to have them in your back pocket for later in the race. If there's a late race caution flag, then that may be the key to success here this evening. But it could also, come back to bite you. Could put you behind the 8 ball, could take you potentially out of this race and out of a winning strategy if we keep it just strolling clean and green out there on the racetrack. As out in front, Caleb McKinney just doing what he does best. That's lead laps and try to run away with this one, as all these drivers, man, just having such a great day of racing, man. Putting on such a great show for us. This is Mr. Garland. What's good, Mr. Garland? James Garland in the chat as well says, had to leave early. Got a concert. A concert. James, brother. What in the world? A concert? Who are you going to see? Who are you going to see, James? Hopefully it's somebody cool. Hopefully it's somebody cool, that's for certain. As we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to keep on battling here this evening. As out in front, Caleb McKinney has this race lead, man. He is showing everyone how to get it done here at the beautiful Auto Club Speedway, continuing to just try to pull away, continue to try to open up the race lead and trying to work his way farther and farther out in front to where no one can even try to get him. As 3 days grace in Breaking Benjamin, oh my gosh. Hell yeah, James. Hell yeah, brother. That is more than worth it, brother. I would have told you not even to fire up the sim, brother. I would have been there early. That is absolutely awesome. I'm more than slightly jealous, James, man. That is awesome, man. 3 days grace, Breaking Benjamin. Two artists that are fully in swing with my my playlist. A lot of my playlists. They're in there a lot, and trust me, I got a lot of buddies that would love to go see 3 days grace and Breaking Benjamin, man. That is absolutely awesome. Completely jealous is where I would go with that one. That's cool, man. That's cool. Love that for you. Hopefully you have fun. Hopefully you have a good time, man. And hopefully it's nothing but great vibes and great fun there at the concert, brother. As out in front, 25 laps left to go here in this race. So 100 laps down, 25 laps left to go here today, man. This has been an absolutely amazing show. As he says, saw Ice 9 kills last night. Oh my gosh, what, brother? You've been just doing some crazy concerts here. Okay, that's actually kind of crazy. Concert last night, concert tonight. This boy loves going to his concerts and seeing some of these amazing bands and artists play. Man, that is absolutely awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely jealous. I'm up here in the sim doing this stuff, man. I would definitely take a weekend off to be able to go see any of those guys, any of them, honestly. Not even together, just one alone. You know, just for maybe a handful of songs, I'd be down with just canceling a weekend and going and enjoying that. As out in front, looking fine, looking fresh. This 76 ride continues to lead the way. We did see Kurt Sponsler make his way back down pit side. So Kurt and that Elite Sim Racing NOS Energy Drinks machine heads down pit road, makes what could be his final pit stop of the day. Now, I don't know if this is a little too early or if this is the right game plan, whether or not it is or it isn't for the 49 ride. Going to take the gamble coming down pit road a little bit sooner, because you can make it probably about 25, 26, maybe even 27 if you're nice and easy on the throttle to make it to the end of the the end of the race here. But if you can roll another 4, 5, maybe 6 laps, and if we do see some of those late race caution flags, potentially that's when, you can either throw your final set of tires on if you still have a set, or if you are still in the lead lap, at least you kind of get right back into the action. You don't have to worry about making late race pit stops where potentially, if we see that late race yellow flag come out, we got to go to NASCAR overtime. You don't want to be a front runner being at the front of the field and having to give up all that track position, come back down pit side just to get fuel. So a lot of different game plans here for a lot of these drivers, as Caleb McKinney out in front. McKinney still has the race lead. Corey Crowell about 4.8 seconds back behind him here in that number 2 ride. Chad Lancaster rolls there in position number 3. Cameron Combs in position number 4 and looking for more here as he's trying to pass that 0-2 ride of Lancaster for that 3rd position on the racetrack. Josh Bromfield in the Poor Boy Motorsports number 5 ride, or 12 ride, in that 5th position. Here he comes down the pit road. You'll see John Dudell coming down pit side. He's got to lock it up, though. Look out. He's going to go around on pit road entry, man. That was a crazy pit road entry right there. It's somehow sideways locking it up. The 64 ride does hit pit road at pit road speed. That is a great break there for him. This could have been a whole lot worse for him. Could have been a whole lot worse for Josh Bromfield. Luckily enough, Bromfield is able to avoid him there, not make any contacts. We do see Brom down pit side now. He's going to get his 4 fresh tires and fuel into that ride. We do see Killing back now down pit road. Devin Black also heading down pit side in his RT3 Designs Elite Sim Racing number 7 ride down pit road here as he'll look to keep on rolling, hoping to keep some good momentum up from last week's win and carrying that over here tonight to this race, as Cameron Combs there in position number 7, now falling back because he's headed down pit road as well. He had just made the move for position number 3 around Chad Lancaster, and now down pit road here, making that a little bit earlier of a pit stop. Here comes Dom Salvo. Here comes that 31 ride again of Adolfo Castillo. Unfortunately for Adolfo, he is at least 1 lap down here this evening for Adolfo. He did come down pit road, and he actually may even be 2 laps down now as unfortunately got tied up, had some damage, had to come down pit road, and for the number 31 ride sent him back, and that is not a fun place to be, as you do see Dom down getting tires onto his race car. We did see already Cameron Combs around him here, as we saw the 19 having a great run and a great day as well. Unfortunately, contact down on pit road. The 19 ride went for a loop-de-loop with Johnny Thunders, and he lost a ton of track position, a ton of spots out there on the racetrack, and obviously a lot of time here, and that has affected his race here completely this evening, as well. To wait and see where he can kind of migrate back in, and if he can gain any extra spots here and at least salvage something out of this race. As we do see Corey Crowell, Caleb McKinney now down pit road as well. Excuse me there, as Caleb McKinney down pit road here in the 76 right, so giving up the race lead. Comes down pit road, no black flags for him. We do see a black flag, though, a pit road speeding penalty for Donald Brain. Brain does make a pit road mistake. That will cost him down on pit road, and unfortunately will probably take him out of a good finish here this evening, as Caleb McKinney down and out of the pits, able to make a great pit stop there. We'll see where he cycles back through, where Corey Crowell is. In comparison to that 76 ride, they were first and second before making those pit stops, and it looks like coming back up the speed down the back straightaway, the 76 of Caleb McKinney should still have the race lead between himself and the number 102 of Chad Lancaster. Actually, Lancaster was able to beat Corey Crowell down on pit road, and Crowell slides back into position number 3 here technically on the racetrack. Lancaster able to leapfrog him there, so big mistake out of that 2 ride, and for Caleb McKinney still holds a pretty good lead between himself and that 0-2 ride and the rest of these drivers, so we'll have to wait and see where he's at and how he's able to try to keep these guys back there at bay and try to put himself up and into victory lane still here this evening, as and a lot more drivers finally making their potential final pit stops of the evening. Here comes Chris Wolford down pit side, Grant Humphrey down pit road, Aaron Barnickel also down pit side here. We're still waiting on Gary Wright to potentially make his final pit stop of the day here in this one. Alrighty, as the 16 ride has the race lead. You see the 16 ride and Johnny Thunders trying to get around him. We still have a few other drivers, including Edward Belair, Casey Gross, probably still having to make their final pit stops here at some point in time here in the very near future. Looks like pretty much everybody else has made their additional pit stops. Al Reed back here in 24th. James Garland done and out of this race. He has gone to a concert. Chris Muse down pit side for what started and looked to be potentially a great day here for that Monster Energy 99 ride of Chris Muse, qualifying on the pole, leading laps early for the 99 ride, running into some issues, having some mistakes down pit side, and for the 99 scored back in the 24th spot on the Speedway. Not the day that he was hoping for Gary Wright. He's just trying to run the strategy out, maybe catch a lucky caution flag or something that may help him out here in this race, but as of right now, not much going on here for this 16 ride, and very soon, here we go, we're going to see him come down pit road, so no caution flag to help him out. He finally hits pit lane. That will forfeit the race lead back over to the 76 ride of Caleb McKinney, so McKinney will be back out in front for the 5 ride here of Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger yet to come down pit road as well, so Puffenbarger definitely going to have to make a green flag pit stop here in a quick hurry, as the MVP Roofing and Restoration LLC number 5 ride going to have to come down pit road here in a quick hurry, and that will give up that second position to Chad Lancaster. Lancaster made a great pit stop there, closed the gap quite a bit on Caleb McKinney, but McKinney now rolling back out there and looking to just continue to pull away from our second, third, fourth, fifth place drivers here in the rest of the field on his way to what could be a very dominant win here in the 76 run. The second half of this race has been all McKinney here at the front of the field. Brandon Puffenbarger looks like he's finally going to make his way down pit side, so the MVP roofing ride does make the hard left-hand turn down to pit road. Now we'll move him deeper into the field. Lancaster now up into second. The gap is 1.7 seconds between him and Caleb McKinney. So 1.7 seconds here to try to make up, to try to hunt down this 76 ride to put themselves potentially into the winner's circle. Corey Crowell right there as well. Corey trying to work his way back around this 0-2 ride, knowing that if he can make the pass here and then try to work for the final, 13 laps or so of this race to hunt down that 76 as he's back about 2 seconds here behind him. Let's see if he can close that gap, if he can reel him in, and even if he can, he's still got to try to figure out a way to pass that 76 of Caleb McKinney here late in this race with 12 laps left to go here in this one. 12 laps left to duke it out. What a run these guys have been doing, man. These guys have been putting on an absolutely amazing show for us here tonight, man. These guys have been putting together just a great amount of racing. We saw that one caution flag for incident there on lap number 5. Other than that, we saw, a little bit of contact throughout some of the pit stops where we saw drivers have issues down pit road, but there was no yellow flags for that. And then obviously we also saw drivers, getting tied together as the stage breaks happened. We saw a couple drivers get tied together, Brandon Puffenbarger being one of those, but that was virtually as the caution flag was already out, so that really wasn't an on-track incident for a yellow flag. The yellow flag was already displayed, so a couple yellows, only one for true incident, 2 for the stage breaks, and 3 yellow flags altogether here throughout this race, and we're inching down to the checkered flag here in a quick hurry with only 11 laps left to go. 10 laps left here the next time by the start-finish line. There's only 10 laps left here as Caleb McKinney heads down and across the start line here this evening. He does have the 5 right of Puffenbarger right there in front of him. Now Brandon does have pretty good fresh tires on that car, and maybe you can use the draft off this 5 right to try and pull farther away from Corey Crowell, and that may be the distance as, or at least the game plan here. The gap is about just a little over 2 seconds. So Corey Crowell has fallen back a little bit, hasn't really gained anything on the 76 ride, and for Caleb McKinney, that's exactly what he wants to see. I wasn't sure if potentially McKinney would be on a little bit older tires, Corey Crowell on newer tires, may be able to just try to hunt him down and make some moves and steal the win away from that 76 ride, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the case or not here this evening. The gap is almost 2.2 seconds now as Caleb McKinney licks off another lap here. 9 laps left to go in this race. It is getting down to the end of it, ladies and gentlemen, as Lancaster having great run here. Great run for this Landon C. NSB 02 ride of Chad Lancaster. I believe Lancaster is one of the drivers that got tied up in that lap number 5 caution flag. Our only caution flag for incident out there on the Speedway. I do believe that he was part of it. Let's take a look back at it. All right, so here we go. Yeah, this is that first and only caution flag for incident out there on the racetrack. Lancaster in the 49 ride. Kurt Sponsler get tied together. He goes for a loop-de-loop down through the infield right there. Slides back up the racetrack. Luckily enough, no major damage or contact, but battling back from that for the 0-2 ride. And now has himself sitting in position number 3. Pretty solid day at the Speedway here for that 0-2 ride. Cameron Combs back there in 4th. Josh Bromfield rounding out our top 5. His first race here of the series, it is Chris Wolford. Wolford up 12 spots on the racetrack from where he started, and he rolls there in that 6th position. Grant Humphrey with another great run here as he rolls in position number 7 in that Must Love Poodles ride. And then we do see Gary Wright there in position number 8, probably one of Gary's best runs of the season and maybe his career here with the Outcast Racing League guys as he rolls there in that 8th position. John Dutel, we saw go around there and slide down into pit lane. Luckily enough, did not get a penalty, but able to hang on to it right now inside the top 9. Aaron Barnickel, who had a great run, started on the outside of the front row to start this race, and unfortunately our first couple rows here this evening have not had really super good luck here. They have not really had great luck out there on the racetrack. When we look back here, Aaron Barnicle, he started on the outside of the front row. He rolls in that 10th spot on the Speedway. Billy Jordan, we saw him run into some issues for the 14 ride. He rolls there in 11th. When we look at our pole sitter back there, Chris Muse, back in 24th, not the place that he wants to be. And for Casey Gross, started in position number 4. He's back in 19th. So virtually everyone that started inside our top 4 right now are outside of the top 9 on the racing surface. As Caleb McKinney continues to lead the way. McKinney out in front, hoping to see that checker flag fly here as quickly as possible. As we did talk about Gary Wright, looks like Gary ended up running into some issues here. Let's take a look at it, as there is some contact between the 31 and the 16 ride, and unfortunately 16 goes down through the infield, and that is going to bring the caution flag out. So the yellow flag late in this race. Oh brother, how does this change things up? 16 ride parked down in the infield, the yellow flag gets displayed, and we get a late race caution flag to really spice things up here this evening. For Caleb McKinney, he did not want to see that yellow. For McKinney, did not want to see that yellow flag fly, because he knew that if the yellow flag got displayed, that he would have been able to just run away with this win. Now he's going to have to fight for it. He's going to have Crowell, Lancaster, Cameron Combs, Bromfield, all these guys right back onto their back bump, right onto his back bumper here. And one wrong push, one wrong move, or anything else could easily take him for a ride, set him up the racetrack, kill his momentum, and potentially take him out of contention of winning this race after pretty much dominating the whole second half of it. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this and see if he's able to complete the win here today, as McKinney, Crowell, Chad Lancaster, our top 3. We do see Josh Bromfield come down pit road. Now, this was a big question mark on whether or not potentially someone may have had some fresh tires still back behind pit wall. I wasn't sure if we were going to see anyone still have them, but maybe Bromfield's feeling, fuel might get tight. If we go to NASCAR overtime, he may run out of juice, so he does come down pit road to make this pit stop. We'll see if there's tires going on or not. The 12 ride hits pit stall. There we go. He gets it jacked up. So I don't know if he's got a pair of scuffs back there or if he is putting on a fresh set of tires. Obviously, he's going to have a lot of track position to try to regain. He's going to have to try to drive around a lot of these guys in a very short period of time. But if he can, it could potentially put him into a great position. We do see Brandon Puffenbarger. He was able to get the lucky dog, the wave around back onto the lead lap. And for the MVP roofing ride, he's coming down pit road here as well. So we'll have to wait and see if Puffenbarger, who's now back onto the lead lap, if he may potentially have an extra set of fresh tires here as well, and whether or not he can drive his way up towards the front of the pack. He hits pit lane. There it is. Jacking this thing up, and he is going to get ready to go to work here. Fresh tires for the number 5 ride. Fresh tires for that 12 machine as well. So Bromfield, he'll get the start here with the rest of the lead lap cars. All the cars that are a lap down will start behind the 12 ride. Unfortunately, taking that lucky dog, Brandon Puffenbarger, will have to start behind the lap down traffic here this evening. So that's a tough break there for him, as we'll get them all ready to rumble. We'll get them ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. This is going to get interesting. This is going to get very, very fun to try to figure out who can try and put themselves up and in to victory lane here this evening. Who can get it done here in this one, as McKinney, Crowell, Cameron Combs, our top 3. Lancaster there as well. Grant Humphrey, Chris Wolford, John Dutel, Aaron Barnicle, Mike Killingbeck, Billy Jordan, our top 10 out there on the racetrack, all getting ready to go back to green flag battling here this evening. So here we go. Lights are off. The official iRacing pace car here at Auto Club Speedways. The AG's Designs 250 gonna come to an exciting end to the day here. Could be a very, very exciting finish here, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready to get your popcorn, get ready to cheer on your favorite drivers, as this is going to be a ton of fun, and it's going to be interesting to see Now this is going to get played out. Who's going to be able to try to maybe take this win away from Caleb McKinney? As McKinney gets locked and loaded, he gets set here. He's hoping that he can get a great launch and a great restart, knowing that there's only a few laps left to go here in this race. Now this will be a green-white checkered finish, but this is not NASCAR overtime. This is our scheduled distance so far right now. We have not or will not work into NASCAR overtime as of yet. If we do see another caution flag fly before the white flag, then we will head to NASCAR overtime here this evening. As here we go for what could be our final restart of the day. The green flag is in the air, and we are back to battle here at Auto Club Speedways. The AG Designs 250 is back underway. The 76 ride of Caleb McKinney gets that restart that he was desperately looking for, able to get that launch, the jump, and everything that he needed to hopefully try to pull away and make it so that none of these guys can hunt him down quick enough. You look back here at some of the fresher tires. Look out as there is some contact. Couple drivers going around. Caution flag is out. Caution flag is out. Mike Killing back around. We saw the 0-2 of Chad Lancaster around as the Land in CNSB ride. Tons of damage there for Chad. We did see Devin Black, Braden Puffenberger, a few of these other drivers getting tied up in it. And the caution flag will come back out as our third place driver right here. Lancaster coming out of corner number 2. Just gets loose right here. Loses the rear end. As he's getting sideways, he's trying to save it, trying to correct it. The car continues to step out. He unfortunately overcorrects. It shoots back up the racetrack here sideways. He's got it locked down, trying not to slide back up and into traffic. Unfortunately, nowhere to go here for Kurt Sponsler, who drives right into the side of him. Killing back goes around trying to avoid him. Man, nowhere to go for Edward Belair as well as he drives into him. Heavy front end damage there for the 0-2, the 25, the 49 ride, even quite a bit of damage there for the 70 of Mike Killing back as the yellow flag does come back. You see the 3 of Al Reed down through the infield doing his best impression of the Tokyo Drift there, trying to avoid all that carnage. We did see Donald also go around here. This was a little bit farther back. Looks like maybe some contact between Donald and the 7 of Devin Black. There is the contact, and unfortunately, they get tied together. They both wash down to the infield. There goes the 5 right. He's going to go for a slide. Luckily enough, doesn't look like any major contact or damage for any of those 3 drivers, and we'll keep on battling here this evening. So a late race restart here for these drivers, and that's going to make things that much more interesting. Another restart in our first attempt in NASCAR overtime here this evening. So this will be our first green-white checkered for NASCAR overtime. We will have at least 2 more attempts at it until the checker flag will be displayed no matter what. So hopefully either on this one or the next one or the next one that we can see this one finish under the green flag conditions. And all these drivers will either head down pit road. Some of them may be getting tires, maybe getting fuel. We'll have to wait and see as we see the 48 run. He heads down pit road. I think fuel may become a major factor for a lot of these drivers on wanting to make sure that they have enough here. You do see left side tires going onto that 48 ride. We do see fuel going into the 19 ride. He's able to leave pit road, get rolling. We see Kurt Sponsler down pit side. Chad Lancaster will use his quick repair, get that car fixed up. Same with the 25 ride of Edward Belair as they roll back here on the racetrack, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere because you do not want to miss how this one is going to finish here this evening with the Outcast Racing League in the AG Designs 250.
Radio check, check, 1-2, radio check. Still. On the box to the corner, lane up through the triangle. Not sure why we did that, I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. We should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Out of the gas, slow down. He's got it right in front of me. Come on, come on, come on.
here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs are line. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and Garland leading the way. Show these drivers how to get it done. As the Mexico. Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, and here we go. Our first attempt in NASCAR overtime here this evening with the Outcast Racing League. As again, another great restart there for Caleb McKinney. McKinney able to get back on the lap pedal, and he's got Aaron Barnickel right there with him. Does Barnickel got something left up his sleeve for our race leader? Can he potentially take this win away from Caleb McKinney as he rolls around the outside? A great run for the 66, and Aaron Barnickel potentially takes the race lead away down the back straightaway. So Barnickel now out in front. The 66 Ryan able to make the late race move and jump out into the point here as here comes that 15 Ryan. Cameron Combs down to the inside, washed up the racetrack. Here comes Corey Crowell back down to the inside. The laps are continuing to clack down as here comes Billy Jordan trying to work his way through. Josh Bromfield right there as well. John Dudell, he's worked his way up and into position number 4, but it's Aaron Barnickel out in front who will see that white flag fly. So this will be the final lap here this evening, no matter what happens out there on the racetrack. As Caleb McKinney trying to hunt him back down, knowing that this race was his in the bang before that late race caution flag. He's going to be gunning about this one. We see issues for Al Reed deeper in the field. Here comes, a little bit of a bump right there. Who's going to have the run out of corner number 4? It's going to get tight. Here comes Corey Crowell. Here comes the talents. Down across the line, it's Aaron Barnickel. Aaron gets it done and puts the AutoZone 66 right up and into victory lane here this evening, stealing the win away from Caleb McKinney. Corey Crowell comes home in 3rd with John Dutell there in 4th, and Cameron Combs rounding out our top 5. Brandon Puffenbarger in 6th with Josh Bromfield back in 7th. Chris Wolford back in 8th, Grant Humphrey and Chad Lancaster rounding out our top 10 here this evening, man. But what a run, what a race right there for Aaron Barnickel as he's able to capture tonight's victory here in a crazy turn of events late in this race after having not a lot of caution flags, but a couple good ones there late in, and it's allowed him to jump up here and steal that win away from Caleb McKinney. We'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews, man. What a run, what a race, and what a drive here by each and every one of these drivers, man. That was a lot of fun. That was a great show, and they put on an absolutely amazing event for us here this evening as we'll get ready to pull them up here into the booth for their post-race interviews in just a couple more moments. We'll wait for them to jump into the interviews waiting room before we pull them in here to the booth. So as they get ready to slide in here, we'll wait for them to jump up, and we'll take another look back at what may have happened here to the 3 right of Al Reed. As Al Reed, unfortunately, here late in the race, had some issues here himself. Let's take a look at it as the 3 right in the Freedom, the Charlie Kirk Memoriam ride. Rolling down at a corner number 2. Looks like the 25 right just going to get up into him. Edward Belair gives him a shot, spins that 3 right around. And unfortunately for Al Reed, not the fun place to be. Then we also saw issues for Billy Jordan. Dom Salvo here is down the back straightaway. Things are just going to get tight here again. Out of corner number 2 and down the back stretch. I don't think they realized that they were 3 wide. 48 kind of gets bounced around a little bit right there. They make contact. Billy Jordan goes around. We see Humphrey and the 19 ride stay kind of tight together right there, and all of a sudden it just shoots Dom Salvo down the racetrack and into the inside fence right there. Big hit there for Dom, man. Big hit. Let's take another look at it, see if we can get another perspective at some of the carnage here on the closing laps of this race. Here we go. 48 in the middle. It's got the 14 to the outside. It ends up bouncing into the 19, the back into the 14, and then they just kind of run out of room, and all of a sudden, there you go. 14 right gets turned around. The 48, the 19, they're just virtually tied together. They're kind of actually locked together right here, and unfortunately, it just pulls the 48 with the 19 as he pulls off the 48 ride. Gets the 48 right back into him. Now the 48 trying to do the same thing. The 19 trying to pull away from that 48 ride, and then finally it just snap hooks down in towards the infield here and making hard contact with the inside fence, man. That's a big hit there for the 19 machine. Look at that car up off all 4 tires, man. That was a heavy hit, big contact, and a lot of damage. Unfortunately for Dom, ends up coming home in the 16th position here this evening. As all right, let's see if we can get our race winner up here into the booth as Aaron Barnacle picking up the checkered flag. Let's see if we can get him up here into the broadcast booth right now. Hey, Aaron, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yep.
Man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one. Obviously qualified pretty well here on the outside of the front row. And then for a little while there, you kind of fell back, some pit road mistakes there. And for the 66, it was looking bleak here, you know, looking just to have a good solid run and getting a good finish here late in this race until these couple late caution flags came out, and it opened up the door for you to jump up here and steal this win away from Caleb McKinney and pull that 66 ride, I do believe, in your first race here on broadcast with the Outcast Racing League into victory lane, man. Take us through it. What's going through your mind right now as you get to celebrate here at Auto Club Speedway?
Well, that first run, I burnt the tires off it like a... Yeah, we aren't going to talk about that. Then, yeah, the pit road issue. Honestly, I mean, I ran a decent race, nowhere near as good as Caleb, but I got lucky. I got lucky with those cautions, and then once those cautions came out, did what I had to do. I mean, it was that second to last restart that I feel really put me in that position, because then for that final restart, I could line up behind a teammate, and that just made a world's difference.
Yeah, having that teammate help there to your back bumper, giving you the extra launch and the extra push, and then all of a sudden you're just able to take that run. You're able to just roll right to the outside of the 76 ride and take the race lead over there late in this one. And then obviously for the next lap and a half, he's trying to chase you down. He gives you a shot there, trying to get you loose, trying to wash up the racetrack down through 3 and 4 of the final lap. You're able to, you know, predict that and able to keep your foot in the throttle and keep the wheel pointing the right direction and hold everybody else off and keep them all back there at bay. As you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good out there on the racetrack. Here tonight, lucky for the caution flags, but also good enough to keep these guys back at bay to pull up into victory lane, man. Like, take us through kind of that contact there on the closing lap.
Oh, on the closing lap, I mean, I'm talking with Caleb during it. Me and Caleb are really close buddies, so I didn't think he was going to clean me out. I definitely going into that final lap, I was expecting something from him. Honestly, I was expecting even less contact. I mean, he gave me a good shot. I had to work to keep the car straight, but I mean, yeah, it was good. Caleb gave it about all he could. He gave me a run for my money on that last lap.
He definitely did. And luckily enough, you're able to hang on to it. And then obviously, you know, with the contact and trying to catch the car and everything else, the loss of momentum there, we're getting a little bit nervous that maybe one of those drivers back behind you, like Corey Crowell or John or anyone else, would be able to get a big run out of 4 and drag race you guys maybe back to the start-finish line.
I wasn't too worried. I saw how far they were back. I didn't think they had the time to catch me, and even if they did, I'll be oh so real. I was ready to throw some damn near suicidal blocks.
Well, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, brother, as you do pick up your first checkered flag here at the Outcast Racing League. I do believe in your first event here on the broadcast here with the league as well, so that, you know, 1 for 1 off to a hot start here in your Outcast Racing League career. Aaron, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Truth be told, all the guys at Dark Horse, especially Caleb, he's the one who got me in here. I mean, he's the one who got me with the team, and, well, I wouldn't be racing tonight without him.
Beauty. Well, hey, you know what? Shout out to him getting you in here. Then obviously for yourself, being able to pick up a big win here this evening, man. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth more and more throughout the rest of this season.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Aaron Barnickel. As Barnickel picks up the checkered flag here this evening. Now we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. May not be as happy about that finish as it is the 76 of Caleb McKinney. Let's pull Caleb up here into the booth. Hey, Caleb, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Caleb, man, hell of a run, hell of a drive here this evening, man. That one was definitely yours. You had it in the bag until these late race caution flags took it away from you, as Aaron was able to jump up, steal this win away from you here tonight. You tried to get it back there on the final lap. You just couldn't get him loose enough to wash up the track far enough to be able to get the run and steal the race lead back away there in the final quarters here this evening, man. But take us back through this one, man. Obviously gutting finish for you, but man, that was a hell of a strong run here throughout this race.
Oh man, for sure. I was definitely excited with my run. I had, and yeah, just from the start of the race, just I could really pass people and make up time when other people really couldn't in about the center of the corner. And from there, I just catapulted myself into the lead, scoring myself stage one win, which was very good. And from then on, I just tried to maintain my tires so I could save a set, and that worked out pretty well. So from that, I got a little bit of a lead, and I picked up like a seventh place finish in stage two. And from there, I just kind of managed my time and just kept to the bottom, and it worked.
Absolutely worked out perfectly here for you as you come home in second, almost into victory lane for what could have been just a cruise control way to finish off the race here. You know, how gutted were you when you saw that caution flag come out, knowing that you're going to have to fight here like hell to try to keep these guys back there at bay in the closing laps of this race?
Man, I knew I had a chance on the first when the first caution came out. I was really bummed because it was right in front of me, and really from then on, I really only had the tires for one restart. Uh, but yeah, I just made the best of it and got second place. So just one spot above where I finished last week. So an improvement, and yeah, a huge win to Aaron. And I'm really glad he's in this league with me. And yeah, he's really fun to race around.
Absolutely. Well, you guys definitely put on a great show there in this race. And Caleb, you come home with a solid second place run, brother. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank here tonight for such a great race?
Yeah, man, I'd like to thank Dark Horse Motorsports, Wayne Garland, James Garland, and Donald Blame, along with Aaron Barnacle. They are really good drivers, and hopefully we can finish the season strong.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Sunday night, and maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth.
I'm pretty sure we don't race next weekend.
Oh, that's right. We
next
are
Sunday.
off next week. Yeah, we are now. We are, yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll see you in 2 weeks then. 2 weeks' time, and
Amen.
hopefully back up here.
See you then. Take care.
Absolutely, as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Caleb McKinney. McKinney coming home here in position number 2 as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, Corey Crowell. Hey, Corey, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I do, Aaron. What's going on?
Not much. Corey, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here for you tonight, man. Obviously, we saw early on you missed the start of this race. You had to start down on Pear Road. That early caution flag really helped you out, though, giving you some good stage points here in stage number 1, then obviously getting stage points there in stage 2. And then here at the end of the race, obviously having a pretty fast hot rod. I thought you were going to try and give, Caleb a run for his money there. And then all of a sudden, Aaron Barnickel came out of nowhere and was able to get not only around you, but also around Caleb to steal the win away from him here in this one, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind now as the smoke settles here at Auto Club Speedway?
Yeah, the start, Casey was having issues with the admin side of stuff after the update, and I was sending him a message, and when I looked back at the screen, I realized I had about 2 seconds left. So I was quickly trying to get the mouse over there to click on it, but I missed it. But I was like, it's stages, we'll be all right. So yeah, that caution came out, pushed me back up there. I was able to go through the field. get some stage points. Same thing with the second stage. Wish I had a set of tires there at the end, which I did not. But yeah, racing Caleb and Aaron, I knew once he said high side or the outside that second restart there that I figured him and Aaron were teammates. It's hard for me to see where he's at on my screen. I'm only running one screen, so I either gotta sit back a little bit so I can see a fender, or look over, and it's hard to get that start. So I missed it a little bit. Aaron was able to get the run, go completely around him. So yeah, I thought he was going to take him out in the last turn. So I was just hoping to be in that spot. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that as well. Once they kind of made the contact there, that they would have both lost a ton of momentum, and it may have opened up the door for you or John Tuttle to be able to jump up there and maybe pass them both and steal the win away there. Unfortunately, they were able to carry enough speed and momentum back down the front straightaway to keep you guys back there at bay. But man, still a very solid run and very good race here for you tonight, Corey. Who would you like to thank for another great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, I'll thank you for the broadcast. I'd like to thank my teammates at Mid-Atlantic Racing Series and Midwest Motorsports. I'd like to thank Colton Manich with Shenko Custom Diecast and Custom Designs. He's a huge supporter for me. What he does for me helps me out a lot, whether it's in different leagues or whether it's me personally. So give a shout out to him, definitely. And yeah, that'll be about it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth in 2 weeks' time when we head to our third race of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there we go. Give it up for our third place driver, Corey Crowell, man. Heck of a run, heck of a drive here by each and every one of these competitors. These guys put on an absolutely amazing show for us here this evening. A lot of non-stop great racing action, only a handful of caution flags, and just some great performances altogether from these competitors, man. And we cannot wait to see them back in action again in 2 weeks' time, as we get word there from Caleb that we are off next week. I'm not sure exactly why we're off next week. I don't know if it's for in real life racing stuff or not, but we are off on the, I suppose that'd be the 21st of September. So we are off there. We will be back for the Dover race, September 28th here with the Outcast Racing League, and we'll get ready to keep on duking it out with these guys, keep on battling, and potentially see who our third winner of the season may be. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. I can't thank you guys enough for the likes, the comments, the shares, any of you guys tuning in. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys do hit the like button for us on the broadcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Become a brand new part of the Peacemaker family here this evening. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And we will see you guys back here in just a little under 2 hours now. Just a little under 2 hours, we will be back live as our wheel-to-wheel racing league will go to battle. They will duke it out here later this evening. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll see y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Radio check. Still. Run the bomb through the corner. Lane up through the triangle. Not sure why we did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit.
Arena. Cameron comes to the right way. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland is Garland leading the way. Show these drivers how to get it done.